hot winds carried red dust across the dry earth, a lion cub was born inside a small, rocky den hidden deep within the tall grass. It was the dry season, and the blazing sun scorched the endless land, while the roars of predators echoed through the wilderness. The lion cub was extremely fragile when it was born. Its eyes were still closed, and its tiny body was no larger than a house cat. It survived on its mother's milk and the protection of the pride. During its first days, it stayed pressed tightly against its mother's body, searching for warmth and safety in a world filled with danger. As it grew a little older, the cub began taking its first unsteady steps. It loved running around the den, pouncing on dry leaves blowing in the wind, and playing with its siblings. But life on the savannah was never easy. There were many days when the pride failed to hunt, and everyone had to endure hunger. Those difficult days slowly taught the young cub that survival required strength. At around 1 year old, the cub began learning how to hunt alongside the lionesses of the pride. Every evening, as the sun disappeared behind the golden grasslands, the pride silently moved toward herds of antelope grazing in the distance. The cub learned how to lower its body close to the ground and walk carefully without making a sound. The first time it joined a hunt, its heart was pounding. When the pride charged forward, it tried to run along with them. It targeted a young antelope, but because it was still inexperienced, it slipped and fell to the ground.
No, you don't!
The prey escaped. It lay there, panting in the dust, clearly feeling its first failure in life. From that day on, the cub became more diligent. It practiced running faster, learned to observe prey, and trained its strength every day. As time passed, its body gradually changed. Its muscles became more defined, its claws sharper, and the mane around its neck began to grow thick. It was no longer the weak cub of the past, but had become a powerful adult male lion. When reaching adulthood, it began to take part in defending the pride's territory. Life and death battles often occurred between male lions to compete for land and the right to be leader. One day, a strange male lion appeared in the pride's territory. It was a large, heavily scarred, and extremely fierce intruder. A fierce battle took place between two lions. They charged at each other with all their strength. Claws tore and slashed, and fangs bit deeply into each other's flesh. Roars echoed across the savannah, frightening nearby herds of animals into fleeing. After a long battle filled with blood and dust, the young lion finally emerged victorious. Though its body was covered in wounds, it had become the new leader of the pride. From then on, it led the pride in hunting, defending its territory, and fighting off intruders. As time continued to pass, the lionesses in the pride gave birth to new generations of cubs. The alpha lion had now become a father. It often stood on high, rocky outcrops, silently watching its cubs play in the grasslands below. At times, the fierce gaze of a warrior seemed to soften when looking at those small lives.